Next is Senator Legarda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Allow me first to state that we should not allow this conflict and this very unfortunate tragedy to escalate or to be misconstrued as a religious war, as some may try to imagine it to be or misunderstand it, and we should not and never worsen the already lingering tension between and among all sectors, whether you're PNP, the grieving families of the SAF, the military, Muslim or Christian. And while it pains all sectors, it is important that there should be, as General Espinas mentioned yesterday, that there should be justice along with the peace. And I agree with you in your statement in the House of Representatives yesterday. Since we have the opportunity to have Mr. Iqbal with us today, may I just pose just a few questions, if he would agree to answer that, and to the proposition that this case be brought before the ICC. As you will recall, the International Criminal Court and our membership in the ICC has only been here for the past few years in 2011. May I know from the negotiator of the MILF, will you continue the peace talks in the event that the incident of Mamasapano would be referred to the International Criminal Court?
We have stated time and again that we need a fair, impartial, and independent investigation. Right now, we have another problem. It's about the problem of perception and speculation. Unless we can come up with a body that is perceived to be independent and impartial, then we cannot find the truth. I'm not saying that all those constituted bodies cannot be relied upon. I, for one, believe that they are very reliable, but it's about perception. For instance, like the investigation of the MILF, I am so sure that not everybody will believe that the findings of the MILF investigating team would be the real truth on the ground. So, if an independent, impartial, and an independent body will be the one that will investigate the incident, and after that, the findings would be with the release, then perhaps any appropriate action would be on the basis of that findings.
Thank you for that. If you will recall, it took the Philippine government more than 15 years to gain its membership in its seat in the ICC in 2011. And perhaps, well, Secretary De Lima is no longer here. I wanted to ask her, with the very, very slow events unfolding in the Maguindanao massacre, would she consider perhaps, or would she agree that we try the path of the ICC and derive perhaps advantages from our membership in the ICC, which was only secured a few years ago? So I am pleased to note, if that is, if my perception is correct in my understanding from Mr. Iqbal, that the MILF would not prevent the Philippine government, in fact would cooperate for any possible investigation or any case in the ICC, and would perhaps even continue with the peace process here, even if a case in the ICC is presented. Is that correct, Mr. Iqbal?
Yes, it's correct. Your Honor, if you permit me, I would share some information here. It's about finding the body that would be seen as independent, impartial, and fair in its finding. There is an idea which we do not want to bring it up because we do not want to be misconstrued that we are doing something that is not that's not good for the government. It's about considering the United Nations to conduct the investigation. And I talked to one high official of the United Nations. He said that there is an invitation coming from the government, from the panels of the MILF and that of the government, and then the respective principals would agree, then they would consider the idea.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Iqbal. Now, let me just pursue what I asked last Tuesday, very briefly, Madam Chair, so I keep to my 5 minutes, is about the Intel operation, and I would like to address my question first to General Napeñas and then to General Purisima, please. Your client is not here now.
And 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So let me just go to PNP Chief, former PNP Chief Purisima. The the intelligence information that you have based your operations on is quite remarkable, having pinpointed after more than 8 years the designated place of Marwan. May I know if this intel information you received is from one of our local intel agencies, from the AFP, from the NICA, from the PNP, or was there any facilitation or input from a foreign intelligence source?
Your Honor, I am not privy on how the information was obtained by the intelligence officer. I think the proper person to answer that question, Your Honor, is the Director of Intelligence Group.
But you are familiar with Oplan Exodus and Oplan Wolverine and the other Oplans before, and you had received the intel packet, as you had said earlier, to Senator Santiago. So may I know who gave you the intel packet, when was it, and what did it contain?
The intelligence, Your Honor, was given to me by Police Senior Superintendent Mendez, the Director of Intelligence Group, Your Honor.
This was Oplan Exodus already?
Yes, Your Honor, the specifics of the Oplan Exodus.
At any time, did you seek clarification or assistance from a foreign intelligence group or a conduit to such?
No, Your Honor, I did not seek any assistance or conduit with any foreign intelligence, Your Honor.
Have you been the conduit between Director Napeñas and any foreign intelligence group?
I have no knowledge on the conduit of Director Napeñas, Your Honor.
My question is, have you been the conduit between the SAF, whether Director Napeñas or any foreign intelligence group, or any group that presented itself providing you information from a foreign intelligence source?
No, Your Honor. With regard to intelligence matters, the Directorate for Intelligence coordinates with other foreign counterparts, Your Honor.
So you admit that there was coordination with foreign counterparts, and you were perhaps the repository of information from the foreign intelligence units. You may not be officially in touch with them, but were there other groups that you were in touch with that received foreign intelligence information regarding Oplan Exodus? I am not accusing you. I simply want to ascertain the sources of our information, because your source of intel on Marwan after 8 years is remarkable.
Your Honor, as a matter of principle, it's the Directorate for Intelligence who handles every information and who processes the information, Your Honor.
Let me ask, thank you very much. May I ask General Napeñas about this, the same question, about the source of your intel information, if you are privy to any foreign intelligence source?
Madam Chair, the source of the intel information, I think, is something that we cannot discuss in public. Maybe we can discuss it in executive session, but revealing the sources of intelligence information here, with all due respect, may not be appropriate.
Thank you for that, Senate President. May I therefore reserve the right to ask that in executive session, because it is important that we know the sources, whether it is the local intelligence sources or foreign intelligence sources.
We will make sure.
I respect that, and would like to know from Director Napeñas later on, as you had promised also last Monday. Now, let me just probe just a little bit further to summarize the question of, I think, Senator Binay, and was it Senator Ejercito, just to clarify, when they posed a question to General Katapang, whether he had indeed informed the President in Zamboanga about the ongoing operations in Mamasapano. I understand from General Katapang that you did not mention anything to the President until the command conference or the press conference at 4 or 5 p.m. in Zamboanga, because the focus of attention was on another incident in Zamboanga. Is that correct?
Mr. President, Your Honor, I confirm that statement.
To your knowledge, General Katapang, was there anyone with the President and with your party in Zamboanga who informed the President about the unfolding events in Mamasapano?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
And therefore, the President was not informed of any encounter or anything happening between 2 a.m. pertaining to Oplan Exodus until 5 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I just clarify this? Thank you, General. With Secretary Gasmin and perhaps Secretary Mar, I believe that you were with the President in Zamboanga. Is it really accurate to say that the President was not informed of what was unfolding in Mamasapano on that day? Secretary Gasmin first, so that I can have a clear picture from the AFP and the SND side, and then Secretary Mar. Thank you.
I have no idea, Your Honor.
Were you with him in Zamboanga, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
And discussed what was happening in Mamasapano
We were
on that day?
concentrating on the bomb blast,
Yes.
which is connected to the rescue of Abu Sayyaf prisoners in Zamboanga City.
And General Katapang had not called you the whole day of January 25?
About 11 o'clock that morning, I was informed about an encounter, but these are ordinary encounters that we normally get, since it was a report about encounter of the PNP SAF and the MILF, and that's about it. So we did not have a clear picture of what's really happening. It was a mere report of an encounter, which is a normal daily report that comes to my attention.
I will end my question, Madam Chair, with the answer of Secretary Roxas, since he was also with the President, I believe, in Zamboanga on that day.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The purpose for the trip to Zamboanga was precisely because of this bombing and the continuing threat of the more than 50, I think it was like 52 or 56, I don't recall exactly, ASG detainees in the Zamboanga City Jail, for which there was an attempted breakout. These are the ASG that have been captured there and are detained in Zamboanga. They were able to smuggle in 345 with numerous rounds and so on and so forth. So the whole purpose of our trip there and our concentration was that. The bombing, in fact, was supposed to have been the signal for the jailbreak, except that it was discovered and thwarted. So in the course of the day, there are, just like what Secretary Bod said, there were reports of skirmish encounter, but neither of us knew that there was such an operation. So, and it was only later in the day when the picture started to emerge that this was a big operation. Now, at what time the President knew, I cannot say.
I will leave it at that, and I will just perhaps ask my questions in the executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Legarda. The next on the list here is Senator Sunny Angara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Magandang hapon ulit sa ating mga opisyal. Assalamualaikum sa ating mga kasama from Muslim Mindanao, kay Governor Hataman. Tanong ko na lang ho sa MILF ho. Nandito ho tayo lahat kanina nung nag-represent ho si Regional Governor Mujib Hataman. At nakita ho ba ng, well, I'll address my questions first to the law enforcement officials. No? Kay Director Napeñas, tama ho ba yung presentation niya, yung visuals regarding kung saan nakalagay yung bahay ni Usman, yung bahay ni Marwan, at saka yung bahay nung namatayan? Doon sa parang sa field, bale, eto ho. Ganun din ba ho ang info ninyo?
Yes sir, it's almost similar, but yung lugar talaga, apat na bahay actually yun sir.
So ang distansya ho ng bahay ni Usman sa bahay ni Marwan was around 200 meters, oh?
No sir, it's about 91 meters. 91 to 100 meters.
91 to 100 meters, oh?
Yes sir.
I guess gusto ko lang maintindihan ho kung bakit inuna ho si Marwan, bakit hindi ho sabay sa, is that because may naiwan ho na SAF pagtawid ho ng ilog? Kasi I think someone testified na nauna yung 12 led by, well, never mind who led it, but bakit hindi ho simultaneous? Kasi, look, this is, of course, I understand it's easier. I'm not here, Mr. Chair, to lay blame or anything. I just want to understand what was the thinking, ano po yung pag-iisip going forward, pagpasok ko dun sa bahay ni Marwan, bakit hindi sinabay yung kay Usman? Kasi, syempre, logically, pagka pinasok mo si Marwan, ma-alerto, nagkaputukan, ma-alerto yung dun sa bahay naman ni Usman, which is exactly what happened, at nakalis siya dun sa kabilang direksyon. So yun ho ang tanong ko.
The plan really, Your Honor, is to assault all 4 houses at the same time. However, hindi nga po nakatawid yung mas marami pa, 13 lang yung nakatawid. Then, una kasi na madadaanan from their approach na galing sa ilog, ang unang approach na madadaanan is yung bahay po ni Marwan, Your Honor. Hindi na nakaabot doon sa bahay ni Usman kasi 13 na lang sila. Binigyan na ng priority yung...
Nag-judgment call na lang yung commander na pasukan na natin, baka makita tayo rito at hindi na, kaysa mawala yung pareho, pinasok na lang yung...
Ganun na nga, Your Honor, ang nangyari. Priority na nila yung bahay ni Marwan kasi mas sa unahan pa yung bahay ni Usman, Your Honor.
Dito naman ho, yung bahay ni Marwan ho, at saka yung Maharlika Highway, gaano kalayo ho yun? Kung saan nakastasyon yung 300 SAF ho? Anong distansya?
Approximately, kung direct distance, Your Honor, siguro 4 to 5 kilometers.
Malayo, 4 to 5 kilometers. Kasi marami hong nagtataka bakit hindi ho nag-engage yung 300 na SAF. Kasi parang sa ngayon, lumalabas, sinisisi ho yung AFP na hindi daw pumasok in time, etc. At nagbigay naman ng rason ng AFP kung bakit hindi nila ginawa. Pero marami rin nagtataka bakit yung 300 SAF hindi pumasok. Was this a judgment call also? May instruction ba na wag pumasok? O, gusto ko lang malaman. Hindi tayo naghahanap ng masisisi ho dito.
There was a very big order, a strong order na papasok sila, Your Honor. Hindi nga lang makapasok because of the heavy volume of fire. And I believe, Your Honor, that came out doon sa Board of Inquiry ni Police Director Magalong kung hanggang saan ang nakarating yung mga remaining 300 as in reference doon sa lugar ng 55th at saka yung 84th, Your Honor.
May order ho doon sa 300 na mag-engage kayo kapag safe na sa inyo, ganon, pagka pwede.
They were ordered to proceed and reinforce the 55th, Your Honor.
What time was that order given?
By the time na na-engage na yung 55th, yung battalion commander on the ground, yung nasa advanced command post or yung ground commander has been giving that order all along.
Umaga ho yun? Bago mga 8 o'clock? 7 o'clock?
Yes, Your Honor, mga ganyang oras.
Okay. Salamat, Director Napeñas. Tanong ko naman po sa MILF kay Ginoong Iqbal. Tama ho ba yung characterization po ni Regional Governor Hataman dun sa area na parang kumbaga halo-halo siya? Hindi siya solely MILF, it's a mix of BIFF at saka civilian population and even mga pribadong armadong grupo. Tama ho ba yun?
Tama po.
Narinig ko kasi na ang may sakop po nun yung MILF, yung 105th Command, tama ho ba?
Tama rin, at saka meron pang ibang command, desk command na nandun.
Aling command ho yun? 118th?
118.
So sakop po yun ng 118th at saka 105th?
Well, Kasi yung mga miyembro ng 118, minsan hindi lang nanggagalingan sa isang lugar.
So umiikot din ho sila.
Ganun yun.
Is it true ho na yung 105th Command, yun ho ang pinakamalakas na puwersa ho sa MILF? In terms of personnel, in terms of armas?
I am not privy to that because I'm in the political organ of the MILF. That the details of how our military organs are being set up, hindi ko ho masyadong kabisado.
Opo. Tama ho ba na karamihan ho ng BIFF ay nanggaling ho sa 105th Command? Historically ho?
Well, organizationally tama po kasi yung commander ng 105th dati ay si Umrakato.
So ano hong turing ng 105th dun sa mga BIFF ngayon?
It's a separate organization, distinct and separate from the MILF. It has a different agenda, independencia, and then there is only one approach, gera. Sa amin, we accepted already that genuine autonomy, and then naniniwala po kami na kailangan pag-resolve dito sa problema dito sa Mindanao through sa pamamagitan po ng mapayapang paraan.
Pero ang turing nila is mga dating kasamahan din ho yun, hindi ho ba?
Yung iba sa kanila, pero meron isang leader diyan na yung sinasabi nila na si Muhammad Ali Tambako, nanggaling yan sa labas, hindi yan naging membro ng MILF.
Ano hong history ho ni Tambako?
Hindi ko masyadong kabisado.
Sa galing ho ng ibang bansa o galing ho ng ibang parte ho ng Mindanao?
Nanggaling po sa ibang bansa, nag-aaral kasi doon, kaya tinatawag sa kanya.
Filipino ho ba si Tambako?
Filipino ho.
So, siguro mahirapan din ang MILF na kumbaga kung may impormasyon tungkol sa BIFF na dating kasamahan, mahirapan sila na magbigay ng impormasyon sa armed forces na nandito ang mga BIFF, marami silang armas. Hindi ho mangyayari siguro yun, realistically speaking, sir, no?
And then, meron naman mekanismo, yung ceasefire agreement at saka yung ADIAG. Sinasabi doon, yun ang paradigm, yun ang parameter ng relationship ng gobyerno sa MILF at saka how do they engage yung mga problema sa ground po.
I'll address it to Secretary Deles or Ma'am Merriam, Coronel. Ano ho yung mechanisms to deal with that kind of closeness ho na binabanggit ho ni Sir Iqbal? How do we deal with that kind that these people are former comrades or colleagues and yet we're expecting so much of them? Realistic ba yung ganong expectation?
I think yung framework po niyan, yung binabanggit ng mechanism that there is actually cooperation on all of these security issues, including interdiction of criminal elements, KFRs, at kasama na rin po itong terrorist group. Doon po sa ating procedure, meron pong sinabi doon na magbibigay ang gobyerno ng listahan ng kanilang mga high-value targets. At yan naman pong listahan na yan ay naibigay na para magkaroon nga ng ganyang klaseng cooperation patungkol doon sa mga tao na nandito sa listahan na to. Pero yung magpapaliwanag po how it actually operates on the ground, baka po pwedeng si General Galvez o kaya si General Orense ang magpaliwanag niyan.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, because of the criticality and the security of those involved in this, can we give it in the executive
Okay,
session? Sir?
we'll respect that, sir. Ma'am, we'll respect that. That's okay.
Maybe I can just say that precisely that's why the mechanisms are important, because it is able to put distance between what may be complicating personal relations and certain actions that have to be done.
Yeah. Let's re-examine them. Let's re-examine them going forward. I only have 1 minute left, so puntahan ko na yung Oplan Exodus. Are we comfortable answering questions in a non-executive session? Kasi parang, kailan ho ginawa to? Kasi napansin ko yung may date niya, January 2015 lang ho eh. Walang araw ho. Anong araw ho to?
We started working in the Oplan Exodus as early as December 23, Your Honor, and that was implemented on January 25, 2015, Your Honor.
Pero yung dokumento ho, kailan ginawa ho to?
That was after yung ma-approve yung Oplan nung ma-implement.
After January 9 ho, approval? After the January 9 meeting ho?
Opo, after na po
so,
yun.
Meeting kayo ng January 9 sa Bahay Pangarap, tapos ginawa niyo ho to?
The procedure kasi, Your Honor, is once na ma-approve yung Oplan at i-implement na, it will become an operation order. That is now the operation order.
Ito yun. Okay. I notice ho again, hindi tayo naninisi ho dito. We just have no provision there is nothing for time on target ho ba yun, yung TOT? Meron ho ba dito?
Meron pong additional na portion yung Oplan, yung offer na yan, Your Honor. Ito yung
Opo.
isang...
Nabigay ho ba sa komite? Kasi ang nasa akin lang ho siguro sa document of around 10 to 12 pages ho, wala ho yung TOT at sabihin ko na rin po para kasi paubos na ho yung oras natin. Wala rin ho yung provision for support from by air or more artillery, etc. So saan ho nakalagay ho yun? Nandyan ho sa...
Nandito sa isang document, Your Honor.
Sige,
yung...
pakibigay na lang ho sa komite.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige ho. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Now we shall proceed with our next interpellator, Senator Trillanes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Let me just start with a brief manifestation again before I proceed with my line of questioning. Let me just qualify the statements earlier by the Chief of Staff and the Commander of the 6th ID during the exchange earlier that when they were asked if will they follow a direct command by the President, they said they would not. I believe ibang context nung nando doon, yung pinag-uusapan doon dahil you'll have to understand us, kami hong mga sundalo, probably with the exception of Senator Honasan and Senator Legarda, hindi kami mga magagaling na communicators. So, I believe ang ibig sabihin ni General Pangilinan din was kung inutusan siyang ng Presidente, kanyunin ang isang lugar, susundin pa rin niya yung doctrine. Hindi niya pwedeng i-shortcut. Na kung alam niyang may matatamaan na mga civilian doon, may matatamaan na friendly forces doon, hindi pa rin niya gagawin. I believe maliwanag din naman yan sa Commander-in-Chief. Kasi for example, today, sabihin ni Presidente Aquino dun sa Chief of Staff, kanyunin nyo itong Senado dahil masyado sila magulo. Hindi rin nila susundin yun. Okay? Which is precisely why we are electing presidents na alam din yung mga protocols ng military. At hindi nila i-breach yun just to assert their authority. So, maliwanag naman yun. Pagka lawful yung order, they will still have to follow certain doctrines. For example, the artillery fire support. Dahil, sabi ko nga the last time, this is a highly technical field. In fact, ilan lang sa armed forces sa mga experts sa ganyan dahil it's a special field altogether. It's an area of specialization. Hindi nga ho yan. Let me just repeat dun sa mga kasama nating hindi nakakaintindi, including myself. Hindi ito pag sinabing kailangan namin ng indirect fire dito. Hindi yan i-expectin mo na mangyayari kagad. Kasi nga, mas malaking problema ang kaharapin ng armed forces natin kung yun ang pumatay doon sa SAF personnel natin. Kung yung kanyon na iyon, yun yung pumatay. Will the relatives of the slain SAF personnel forgive itong sila General Pangilinan kung yung kanyon ng military ang pumatay? Bibitayin natin sila General Pangilinan dyan, sila General Katapang. Bakit nila hindi sinunod yung doktrina ng artillery fire support? So, ganun yung nakikita natin dito. Ganun din, kung tamaan yung civilian communities doon at nilabas yung sa YouTube yung mga tinamaan ng kanyon, ang gigisahin naman ngayon yung armed forces. So kaya very, very careful ang armed forces sa ganyan at meron ng protocols in place. So, ganun ho ba yung konteksto natin, General Katapang and General Pangilinan, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, I think that's very clear. Hindi sila mag-defy ng Commander-in-Chief, pero they will still follow the doctrines. Now,
I'm sorry, just 1 second. May I just commend the new spokesman of the armed forces?
Hindi naman, ma'am. We're just trying to clarify issues here dahil mahirap na. Baka mamaya yung media natin may maka-spin yan, kawawa naman yung armed forces, it will contribute, ma'am. But
I actually
thank you.
thank you for that because that's the way I understood it and I wanted to clarify it for them except I did not have the floor. But thank you, Senator Trillanes.
Thank you also for reminding me. Thank you. Now, doon naman po sa kay Chairman Iqbal ng MILF. Una-una, nagpapasalamat po kami at pinaunlakan nyo yung aming imbitasyon. Ito po ay malaking hakbang na pinapakita nyo talagang partner kayo ng ating gobyerno dito sa quest natin for peace. Ngayon, siguro pinag-uusapan yung video na masyadong nakapag-ignite ng passion sa ating mga kababayan. First and foremost, would you deny or admit na mga tropa ninyo yung gumawa noon, Chairman Iqbal? Just for the record, please.
Mahirap na tanong po yan. Kung sasabihin ko na yung tropa namin ang gumawa without that investigation to, the result of the investigation to come out, so that is as if self-incrimination po. Pero I will still push for the conduct of a fair, impartial, independent investigation so that we will know the truth. Pangalawa po, I think that video is not really anchored on the basis of what should be the proper way of communicating that kind of incident. I'm referring to the authenticity ng dokumento yan. Kasi yan, nasa YouTube yan, hindi natin alam kung sino ang gumawa niyan. Baka gusto lang manira, I don't know what would be the motive. So, siguro, although naka-aros yan ng emotion, and then outcry, halimbawa, ganyan, so importante rin, tingnan natin kung ano ba yan, authentic ba yan? Kasi with the advanced technology now, siguro mas madali pang gawin yan kaysa yung nakikita natin sa movies na halos virtual reality. So ganun ho ang gusto kong sabihin dito, na dapat tingnan din natin ang authenticity, yung authentic ba yung video na yan o talagang gawa-gawa dahil sa advanced technology ngayon.
Well, Chairman Iqbal, siguro mas tatanggapin ng mga kababayan natin kung sasabihin nyo na hindi pa nyo ready sagutin yan until matapos yung inyong investigasyon. Yung ba ang nais ninyong sabihin?
Kung naniniwala ko, na personal naniniwala ko na hindi ginawa ng MILF yan. However, kaya sabi ko kanina, ang problema kasi natin ngayon yung perception, speculation, masyadong malawak po ang perception na hindi maganda, speculation hindi rin maganda. So, I personally believe na hindi gagawin ng puwersa ng MILF yan. However, i-conduct muna natin yung investigation para lalabas kung anong katotohanan.
Okay. Salamat po sa inyong paglilinaw. Dahil ganito po, itong ating path to peace ay aaminin natin na nagkaroon po ng malaking balakid dahil sa insidenteng ito. At ang nabasag po dito yung tiwala. At least, sabi nyo nga, rightly or wrongly, base sa pananaw ng ating mga kababayan, ay nagkaroon ng lamat yung tiwala na yon. At yung lamat na yon ay posible pang mabawi o mabuo. Pero depende po yan sa mga hakbang ng MLF in the coming days. I don't know kung ano ho ang pwedeng mag-satisfy or mag-restore nung trust na yon. Whether isoli nyo yung mga firearms or ibigay nyo yung mga salarin dito sa even yung sa mga gumawa ng video na yan. I really don't know. There are no guarantees. But right now, the passions are very high. Emotions are running high. And I believe it would really help yung mga hakbang ninyo para ma-regain yung trust na yan. So in short, the fate of this peace process is in your hands at inaantayan ng ating mga kababayan. Now, dito po sa kay General Napeñas, doon sa inyong Oplan, sinasabi ninyo na time on target yung pagko-coordinate. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero dun sa Oplan ninyo, sino yung dapat nyong ko-coordinatean? Based on your Oplan, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, if may refer to the document. Your Honor, medyo mahaba po ito at may mga pangalan na involved sa operations. If we can just take this up doon sa...
Sige, doon na lang sa just the units. Yung top first four.
Yes, Your
First
Honor.
four. Main effort at time on target.
Opo, yung 6 Infantry Division po, Your Honor. 1st Mechanized Brigade, ADJAG, CCH.
Okay. Yung first, yan lang po, ano?
Opo.
So, nakalagay rin dito yung CCCH and the ADJAG based dun sa inyong Oplan ay dapat i-inform. Pero, based dun sa timeline na sinabit ng Armed Forces, dalawa lang ang ininforman ninyo, sir. Itong 6ID and the 1st Mechanized Brigade. So, as observed by Senator Honasan, may mga elements dito sa Oplan na hindi sinunod, General Napeñas. And I believe dito ngayon, kaya tayo nandito ngayon, it's because of those lapses dun sa sa execution ng operational plan, kaya tayo ganito, General Napeñas.
Nainformahan po yung chairman ng ADJAG, Your Honor. At nainformahan din po si...
What time yun, sir?
That's about 5:35, Your Honor. In fact, nagkaroon kami ng actual conversation ni General Orense, Your Honor.
Pero yun, hindi na yun, sir, time on target. Ano na yun? That was already the encounter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, yun na nga. If you will just follow your own operational plan, do sa time on target, which is as early as 0200, doon dapat na-coordinatean General Napeñas?
Yung time on target, Your Honor, according to plan is 2:30. However, na-hit yung target at 4:15. Pero na-informahan kami, hindi immediately na na-informahan kami because may delay dahil siyempre, Your Honor, nagbabakbakan. Then later, naka-inform yung men on the ground sa amin. And that's the time na nagtatatawag na ako dito sa mga dapat na informan dito sa task coordination table, Your Honor.
Okay. Hindi ko na ipupursu yan, General Napeñas, but right now, would you admit na just looking back, meron ba kayong palagay ninyo may pagkukulang yung operational planning na inyong ginawa? Dahil dito sa after mission report na ginawa, tinitignan ko yung section on lessons learned, bakante. So, it's as if it was a perfect mission, but if it were, we wouldn't have this hearing. So, ngayon, tatanungin ko na lang kayo directly, sir, would you admit na itong operation plan ninyo ay nagkaroon ng pagkukulang?
Admit yan, Your Honor, na nagkaroon ng pagkukulang. Ang priority ko, before ko na nasabihan sila kasi nag-encounter, then may report kaagad later na may tinamaan. So, at the height ng ganun na sitwasyon, Your Honor, ang priority na pinagtatawagan namin through the radio is yung magre-reinforce kasi alam na namin na anytime baka makapag-assemble na yung mga nearby na armed men. I admit that, Your Honor, na hindi ko na-informahan sila kaagad yung eksakto na time on target na 4:15, pero yung nga sinabi ko, hindi kaagad 4:15 na naipasa yung information na na-hit na yung target.
I agree po, General Napeñas. Pero I was not referring to the coordination aspect alone, but in the other aspects of the operational plan, like even according to your intelligence reports, the MLF were numbered around 1,000. Then most probable course of action of the enemy was to engage. And yet, kung 1,000 yon, pero ang blocking force nyo ay 36, tapos nilagay nyo sa open field. So, looking back, you will have to admit na kung gagawin nyo itong operation ulit, may mga babaguhin na kayo. Like yung exfiltration plan, baka iba ng rotang gagamitin. Marami na. Ganon din ba ang, do you share that? Just looking back, alam nyo naman, we have to admit, perfect vision tayo in hindsight Pero ang pinag-uusapan kasi natin, in the future, if a commander, if a SAF commander would conduct a similar operation, he would do things differently, learning from the lessons of this incident, sir.
Your Honor, on the tactical level kasi po, nagbigay kami ng coordinates, yung sa planning, kasama naman yung mga tactical commanders, for them to occupy. As to kung saan yung eksakto na location, call ng tactical commander na dapat yun, mayroong cover and concealment. It's no longer the call ng nasa ACP or nasa TCP. It will be done by the tactical commander themselves. They were given the general area that they would occupy, but as to the specific area, call po yun ng tactical commander, Your Honor.
So, in short, sir, kung nailagay sila sa medyo magandang lugar dun sa waypoint na sinabi nyo, yung 36 na yon would be able to hold their ground against 1,000 MILF troops based on your intelligence, sir?
Your Honor, I have to correct na hindi lang po 36 kasi 4 na grupo po yon. Yung 55th, yung 45th, 42nd, and the 41st, they have their own area na i-occupy that will serve as na security and containment sa pag-withdraw ng 84th, Your Honor.
So, assuming 100, sir, sila, no? So, you still maintain na the plan as it is, kung gagawin natin ito ulit ang plano nyo. You'll stand by this. Yung sir, sabi niya.
Yes, Your Honor, because there are some doctrine or there are some practice that you enter in one route, you get out in another route, but this is a totally different situation because malayo na yung ibang rota, then puno din ng armado yon. That's why ang concept of operation nito is yung nga in-explain ko kanina, Your Honor.
I respect your opinion, sir. Anyway, I concede there are many ways of accomplishing the mission, and in your judgment, this was the best way. But sadly, we had tragic results. Now, finally, dun sa kay mga in-enumerate ni Chairman Iqbal earlier about the previous atrocities done to the Bangsamoro people, and ganun din naman yung mga war stories ng na-experience na ating mga sundalo at mga civilian dyan. So ito na nga, yung brutalities of war, itong atrocities of war, both sides. Meron din naman mga sundalo, and I know this also for a fact, na nagtatanggal din ng mga tenga at mga pinupugutan din ng ulo ang mga kalaban, whether MLF yan or whoever. So, ganito kasi, ito yung effect, ito yung trauma ng gera sa isang tao, pumapasok sa psyche ng mga sundalo, na hindi ma-imagine yan ng mga hindi nakakita ng gera. At kung kaya nga, we're doing everything sana to avoid it. Ngayon marami mga hawks dito lalo na dito sa Maynila, marami may init ang ulo na parang it's as if ganun na lang kadali na ubusin lahat yan, pulbusin yan. Yung pag kami namatay dyan, yung mga kamag-anak niyan, yan na ngayon. They will breed a new generation of freedom fighters. Ang tawag, one terrorist is in the eyes of another, it's a terrorist. In the eyes of another, it's a freedom fighter. Which is why crucial itong road to peace. Now, it's in the hands of our government and MLF panels. Ayusin natin ito, but we have to also consider the impact of this peace agreement dun sa ibang stakeholders. Dahil hindi ito basta one way lang. Baka pagka ang nasagasaan naman dito sa pursuit of peace natin with the MLF, masagasaan yung ibang stakeholders doon, sila naman ang mag-aalburuto and tuloy-tuloy na naman tayo rito. So that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Trillanes. Senator Gingona, some brief manifestation.
Madam Chair, would like to request General Napeñas to submit or have you submitted the coordination matrix of the Oplan Exodus? At any rate, if you have not, please submit to the...
Yes, we will submit, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gingona. Before I close, I will just have a few clarificatory questions and also some requests. For Governor Hataman, I think he has left already, but if he's here, just to take note that we will ask for a report of any community building projects that they are doing for Mamasapano, any aid for the civilians that are there, livelihood programs, or what the government is doing to help our countrymen in that area, because I think that if they're economically stable, they will be less likely to join rebel forces against the government. A few questions also. For the MILF, Sir, Ginong Iqbal, maraming salamat po muli sa inyong pagdalo ngayong araw. At sa lahat rin ng ating mga resource persons. Gusto ko lamang pong matanong, alam ko ito ay isang emosyonal na issue, nasabi din po ito ni Senator Cayetano kanina, Pia, pero pwede po bang malaman sa inyo, kung nag-umpisa na talaga kayo ng investigasyon, kung may ideya kayo, kailan maibabalik ang mga kagamitan ng ating mga pulis, at kung medyo natutuntun na rin po ninyo ang mga nakilahok sa paglalaban na ito, sapagkat hindi naman natin sasabihin na sila ay paparatangan kaagad ng parusa, pero dapat ay humarap din sila kung merong pagkakasala ditong war crimes o kung anuman sa korte. Naumpisahan na po ba ninyo at ano po yung deadline?
Na-constitute na po yung grupo at sana sila sa ground para imbestigahan kung anong nangyari. As to the timetable, I talked to German Murat, who is now in Jakarta, and he talked to the highest military commander of the MILF, the need for the urgency of the submission of the report to the Central Committee of the MILF.
Pero ang isang katanungan ko rin po, alam mo, kayo nakikipag-usap sa gobyerno. Kayo yung mga leader, kayo yung may otoridad para dito sa inyong samahan. Pero tatanungin ko, meron ba kayong mga leader sa ground na nag-i-explika sa mga miyembro ninyo doon, sa mga tao ninyo, kung ano ang kasunduang pinapasok ninyo at kung anong kahalagahan nito para sa kanila? Meron ba kayong mga seminar na ganon para sa mga komunidad ninyo?
Marami masyado po. Katunayan pa nga, yung sa Bangsamoro Transition Commission, kung saan ako namumuno, yung mga kasamahan ko, isang aggregation of non-government organizations had conducted 5 consultations na po. Maliban doon, yung mga committees po namin ay nagkakandak din ng consultation at saka yung mga iba't ibang grupo sa amin, ganun din po, nagkakandak din sila. Pero alam po ninyo, mahirap din po intindihin kung ano ba talaga itong naisusulat sa Bangsamoro Basic Law. Unang-una, ang ginamit dito na language, English. Kailangan pa yan i-translate sa local dialect para maintindihan nila.
Pero hindi po ba habang nag-uusap kayo, may mga napapagdiskusyonan kayo, dapat kaagad-agad ang translation po niyan? Meron naman siguro po.
Meron naman sa pamamagitan ng Center for Humanitarian Dialogue. Nag-translate po sila lahat ng dialect sa Mindanao, Maguindanao, Maranao, Tausug, sa kaibang dialect po. Pero hindi sapat.
Sa inyo pong assessment, ilan po ba ang kabuuan ng MILF? Ilan pong miyembro ninyo?
Yung lahat ng miyembro po?
Opo.
Kasi marami po yan. We are counting by hundreds of thousands. Kung yung mass membership, marami po throughout Mindanao, marami po.
Oo nga po, pero syempre dapat may ideya po kayo kung mga ilan. 500,000 po ba? 200,000?
Kung mas supporter at sa kanyang mga sympathizer, siguro hihigit pa.
Hihigit pa sa numerong yan. Kasi ang importante po ay naaabot ninyo yan. Katulad yan, pag meron pong pakikipaglaban na ganyan at magkakaroon ng ceasefire, mahirap nga po pag meron na nag-umpisa ng pakikipaglaban. Pero dapat may mekanismo na pag tumawag ang central government sa inyo o kayo tumawag sa central government, kahit nasa gitna ng bakbakan ay pwedeng mapigilan. Ewan ko kung makakagawa kayo ng ganyan, pero dapat meron pong control sa ground. Alam niyo po na pag-usapan din ng mga senador, dahil hindi naman kami nagsasalita ng salita ninyo, para lang sa kaalaman ng publiko, ano pong ibig sabihin ng bangsa?
It's an identity po. Identity.
Entity?
It-
Yung
identity.
literal identity. So it does not translate to country or yung direct translation po ng bangsa.
Well, in our dialect, we call it bangsa. In Tagalog, it is bansa. It is the same.
So bansa sa Tagalog. Bansa,
But
Moro.
it's more appropriately translated as identity.
Opo. Gusto ko lang po kasi malinawan, dito na rin sa ating pag-uusap ngayong araw na ito, na kayo, ang inyong identity, ang inyong kultura ay Muslim, Moro, pero kayo ay naniniwala. At kayo ay nararamdaman ninyo na talagang dapat kayo ay kasapi ng isang bansa, hindi po ba?
Yun po ang inaayos natin po, na ganun ho ang mangyari.
So pagkaroon ng MILF na kasunduan na ganito, ng kapayapaan, mangunguna pa rin dito po sa inyo ang inyong panunumpa sa bansang Pilipinas.
Pag naayos na po ang problema at saka na-implement po ang agreement, party kami ng Pilipinas, at saka nasa kasunduan naman na yung Bangsa Moro are citizens of the Republic of the Philippines.
Alam niyo po, may salaysay kayo kanina ng pinagdaanan ng pakikipaglaban ng inyong grupo at ako'y nagsisimpataya nga po sa inyo. Meron nga pong isang mga nabitawang salita, bagamat sa pelikula. Sinabi, nung dumating ang mga Kastila, sabi ng mga Muslim, lumaban kami, umalis sila, naiwan kami rito. Dumating ang mga Amerikano, lumaban kami, umalis sila, naiwan pa kami rito. Ang kadugtong po niyan ay hanggang ngayon lumalaban pa rin kami. At alam ko ang hirap din ng pagkakaroon ng pakikipaglaban sa isang komunidad. Pero kahit naman sa mga pulis, alam ko ang hinahangad din ninyo ay kapayapaan. Dapat talaga lahat tayo ay magsama-sama dito. Kaya po, nararamdaman natin, sinabi rin ng iba, kung nagkabaliktad ang sitwasyon, at ang 10%, sabi ni Professor Clarita Carlos, kung nagbaliktad ang sitwasyon at ang 10% ay ang mga Kristiyano at ang 90% naman ng Muslim, syempre gusto rin natin na marinig ang boses natin. Yun lang naman, pero kailangan din natin ng hustisya para sa mga nasawi. Ginoong Iqbal, maraming salamat na hindi po ninyo hiningi ang executive session ngayong araw. At hanggat maaari ay pinakita ninyo sa ating mga kababayan na sa abot ng inyong makakaya ay tinanong ninyo at sinagot ninyo ang aming mga katanungan. Salamat din sa mga ibang dumalo ngayong araw na ito. Alam ko marami din kayong trabaho. Kaya po, minadali namin itong hearing na ito sa itong linggo para makabalik kayo sa inyong mga dapat gawin o dumaluman sa mga iba pang mga kailangan ninyong sagutin ng mga inquiry. So ngayong araw po na ito ay tatawagin ko na po na ang session na ito ay masuspend, pero tuloy-tuloy po ang aming pagdinig bilang executive session kasama ng mga ibang senador. Ang amin pong sa executive session at sa mga senador dito, kung pwede po ninyong idagdag kung sinong kailangan na nandun, pero yung 2 survivors po natin, ang mga kasama natin doon, at kung sino pa dito ang gusto ninyong i-request na isama sa executive session.
Madam Chair, may we request while Chairman Iqbal is here that when they finish the investigation, they give us a copy and whoever investigated will be made available side by side with our Board of Inquiry. I just don't know, General Magalong, kung paano mo matatapos araw-araw na sa hearing ka rin namin at ng House, no? But maybe that would be very productive, that side by side yung findings ng Board of Inquiry at saka yung findings ng MILF para yung inconsistencies like today, sinabi ni Mr. Iqbal, hindi nila kinakadel si Marwan. Pero yesterday, sinabi nga ni General Napeñas sa House na kinakadel nga si Marwan. So let's have both results, Madam Chair. Then we can study it and ask our questions later on with your permission.
Duly noted. I think that there was a senator that inquired about, Senator Recto, about U.S. involvement. Who can answer that in executive session? Somebody raised an executive session manifestation. Was it you, General Napeñas?
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor, that's the matter about the finger. That was, that's the issue, Your Honor. And
Okay, so we will request you to stay behind unless you are called to another meeting. In the meantime, so it's just General Napeñas being requested for executive session today, plus the two other survivors. Again, thank you for your time and this session. Senator
Madam
Soto.
Chair, they will not be called together, no? In the executive session.
No,
they
I
will
think
be
you can take a break
separately.
first,
We can take
General
them
Napeñas. We
separately.
will call first the first two. We will not have them all together so that they can speak freely and candidly.
Yes, because as far as I'm concerned, Director Napeñas, Police Director Napeñas answered everything in the Senate about the finger.
He left some
He
for.
claimed executive privilege in the House. But here, I think we got all we needed. I don't know, unless you want to ask more about it.
I think there was also a question about the informer, correct, from Senator Legarda that you need to answer in executive session.
The sources of intelligence information
Yeah.
was what Senator Legarda. Are you interested in having that in executive?
Yes, it's very important to complete the picture. If General Napeñas, Director Napeñas would be able to do that.
Your Honor, as earlier stated by Police Director General Purisima, as to the intelligence packet, and as I've mentioned in the previous meeting, Your Honor, we are in the tactical units, and we are not in a way involved in the intelligence packet of that operation, Your Honor.
Okay, General Napeñas, before I suspend the hearing, just for the record, on the video that's going viral, assuming that it is authentic, do you identify that being your man there?
It was the battalion commander himself who identified that person yesterday, Your Honor.
That person belongs to the SAF?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For executive session, we will have you, General Napeñas. We also have Superintendent Mendez for the intelligence report, and then the two survivors. So that's it, and this session is suspended. Thank you.
ICC has only been here for the past few years in 2011. May I know from the negotiator of the MILF, will you continue the peace talks in the event that the incident of Mamasapano would be referred to the International Criminal Court?
We have stated time and again that we need a fair, impartial, and independent investigation. Right now, we have another problem. It's about the problem of perception and speculation. Unless we can come up with a body that is perceived to be independent and impartial, then we cannot find the truth. I'm not saying that all those constituted bodies cannot be relied upon. I, for one, believe that they are very reliable, but it's about perception. For instance, like the investigation of the MILF, I am so sure that not everybody will believe that the findings of the MILF investigating team would be the real truth on the ground. So, if an independent, impartial, and an
Next is Senator Legarda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Allow me first to state that we should not allow this conflict and this very unfortunate tragedy to escalate or to be misconstrued as a religious war, as some may try to imagine it to be or misunderstand it, and we should not never worsen the already lingering tension between and among all sectors, whether you're PNP, the grieving families of the SAF, the military, Muslim or Christian. And while it pains all sectors, it is important that there should be, as General Espinas mentioned yesterday, that there should be justice along with the peace. And I agree with you in your statement in the House of Representatives yesterday. Since we have the opportunity to have Mr. Iqbal with us today, may I just pose just a few questions, if he would agree to answer that, and to the proposition that this case be brought before the ICC. As you will recall, the International Criminal Court and our membership in the intelligence information that you have based your operations on is quite remarkable, having pinpointed after more than 8 years the designated place of Marwan. May I know if this intel information you received is from one of our local intel agencies, from the AFP, from the NICA, from the PNP, or was there any facilitation or input from a foreign intelligence source?
Your Honor, I am not privy on how the information was obtained by the intelligence officer. I think the proper person to answer that question, Your Honor, is the Director of Intelligence Group.
But you are familiar with Oplan Exodus and Oplan Wolverine and the other Oplans before, and you had received the intel packet, as you had said earlier, to Senator Santiago. So may I know who gave you the intel packet, when was it, and what did it contain?
The intelligence, Your Honor, was given to me by Police Union Superintendent Mendez, the Director of Intelligence Group, Your Honor.
This was Oplan Exodus already?
Yes. There's some information here. It's about finding the body that would be seen as independent, impartial, and fair in its finding. There is an idea which we do not want to bring it up because we do not want to be misconstrued that we are doing something that is not that's not good for the government. It's about considering the United Nations to conduct the investigation. And I talked to one high official of the United Nations. He said that there is an invitation coming from the government, from the panels of the MILF and that of the government, and then the respective principals would agree, then they would consider the idea.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Iqbal. Now, let me just pursue what I asked last Tuesday, very briefly, Madam Chair, so I keep to my 5 minutes, is about the intel operation, and I would like to address my question first to General Napeñas and then to General Purisima, please. Your client is not here now.
And 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So let me just go to PNP Chief, former PNP Chief Purisima.
The independent body will be the one that will investigate the incident, and after that, the findings would be released. Then perhaps any appropriate action would be on the basis of that findings.
Thank you for that. If you will recall, it took the Philippine government more than 15 years to gain its membership in its seat in the ICC in 2011. And perhaps, well, Secretary De Lima is no longer here. I wanted to ask her, with the very, very slow events unfolding in the Maguindanao massacre, would she consider perhaps, or would she agree that we try the path of the ICC and derive perhaps advantages from our membership in the ICC, which was only secured a few years ago? So I am pleased to note, if that is, if my perception is correct and my understanding from Mr. Iqbal, that the MILF would not prevent the Philippine government, in fact would cooperate for any possible investigation or any case in the ICC, and would perhaps even continue with the peace process here, even if a case in the ICC is presented. Is that correct, Mr. Iqbal?
Yes, it's correct. Your Honor, if you permit me, I would share